You know what? I'm a huge James Bond fan. But if they're not careful, the Kingsman might become the new standard of spy movie. So let's go back a little bit here. About three, maybe 2 years ago, a movie came out in February that was based on a comic book that dealt with the whole spy genre. This wound up being Kingsman: The Secret Service. It was under the radar. Nobody was really expecting too much from it. So much so that when I did a top 10 list of my most anticipated movies, I left it off my list and picked Focus, which also came out that February, instead of it. Well, let me say this much: I own the Kingsman: The Secret Service. I don't own Focus. Yeah, that was a bad one on my part. So when it was announced they were making a sequel, of course I want to go see it. This also happened to be the weekend of Comic Con, which just recently passed, which is why this review is coming up so late. Sorry about that, folks. But let me say that I was very excited to go see this movie. The previews looked great. Looked like it was going to be a return to form, but this time the Kingsmen were going to work alongside their American cousins and the Statesmen. All the makings of a good sequel. Um, but all in all, I have to say that I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Uh, this one wasn't what I was expecting. There was some stuff that I didn't like, but more good than bad. The pros, action sequences were off the hook. The kids say stay off the hook? I don't know. The action sequences were great, outstanding. They took what they learned from the first one and put more sequences like that in this one, timed them up with music to the point that you were having fun while watching them, and they had this fever pitch pace that you were just wondering like how can they keep topping themselves, and each time they did. uh their soundtrack was great. You had everything from Prince to the Who to Elton John to God knows what else in this movie. The cast was good. Well, the main three parts of the cast were good. I'll get to that in a second. Mark Strong as Merlin. Colin Firth returns as Galahad. Can't think of his name, but the kid that played Eggsy in the first movie came back, and he was good as the other Galahad. It was a return to form for the movie. They all did well, but I guess it came down to like, oh, this one did good. We wanted to do better than the first, so let's put some American actors in it and see what happens. And unfortunately, that's one of the downsides is. You have a cast that has Jeff Bridges on the American side, Channing Tatum, and Halle Berry. And all of them together probably have a total of 15 minutes of screen time in this movie. It was mainly, I think, to get people to go see this one. Like, oh, now they've got Americans in it. But another thing I didn't like, a little too much CGI for my taste. I'm a real fan of practical effects in movies. So the first one used a lot of practicality that I liked. This one, there were a lot of CGI scenes where you kind of could tell that, okay, that was CGI. But other than that, it was a good movie. It isn't as good as the first one. No, let me say it better. It's as good as the first one, if not just a little bit better. This is not going to go down the annals as one of the greatest sequels of all time. This isn't The Two Towers. This isn't Aliens or anything like that. This isn't going to be one of those sequels that's seen as better than the original. It also isn't going to go down as one of the worst sequels of all time. It's not The Blair Witch 2. It's just going to be a good sequel to a good movie that starts a franchise pretty much, which is what I think Channing Tatum was put in this for. Um, One other thing I didn't like about the movie, there was a part in the movie that was a cameo who wound up pretty much having more screen time than some of the main actors. And at that point, it started getting a little too campy and crazy for me. But other than that, it was a good little cameo if it just been kept a cameo, and I'll leave it at that. I guess what I'm going to say is that if you liked the first one, definitely go check this one out. It's a good action movie, and if you're a huge fan of the spy movies like I am, you'll definitely love it because there's a lot of good gadgets in it. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of what makes the Kingsman and different than other movies out there right now. I wouldn't rush to the theater to go see it. There's pretty much no need of that. You could wait for this one to rent it. But if you were a huge fan of the first one, definitely go see this one in the theater. I'm starting a new rating systems. I'm going through a whole bunch of different ones. I actually asked some of my friends and family on Facebook to give me some good ideas of what I should try for ratings. So this one I'm taking from my cousin Chris, and I'm gonna go with cameras. I give this one 3.5 cameras. Above average, but not superior, not great. It's not like you're gonna forget the movie, but it's a good movie to go see if you just want to waste 2 hours. So in closing, Kingsman, fun, definitely check it out. Could have been better. Didn't really need the big stars for the American side of it, but still a lot of fun. So I'll see you all next time, and please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think. Always love to talk about movies with folks. Always love to talk about anything. And if you have any ideas of what I should use for a rating system, definitely comment on that below. And I'll see you all next time.